Instruction, golf news, equipment, travel, interviews, course profiles, and more. Your weekly fix of all things golf is about to begin. It's the Flagstick Podcast with your hosts, Jeff Potter and Scott McLeod.
Well, welcome. That's my radio voice. Welcome to the Flagstick Podcast with Jeff Potter and Scott McLeod. This great podcast is presented by Strixon Golf. At Strixon, performance is more than just a number, it's a feeling, one that starts at the forge. Introducing ZXi irons with iForge, the groundbreaking achievement in shaping, pressing, and heating that's taken Strixon feel to an entirely new level. ZXi irons from Strixon, how forge should feel. Visit strixon.ca for more and for the full lineup of Strixon products. Check us out on the social media networks, Instagram, X, TikTok, and Facebook. Please subscribe to Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. And we really do encourage you to get on that YouTube channel. The Flagstick Academy new tip series at the Casselview Golf Club is now started to flow up there. So some great new content's happening on a bi-weekly, weekly, whatever we feel necessary to put up there. We'll post them when we feel like it.
Sure.
Click
and
the
you'll like it.
like us, and click the notification bell. Make sure that you never miss any of that great stuff.
There you go. And you can always dig into the archives too. I still get people that are mentioning specific ones. They actually literally say, "Oh, thanks for that one particular one," so that it was relative to them.
See, once it's up there,
it lives forever.
It lives forever. It lives forever. So yeah, there's a lot of great tips up there, and more to come. I guarantee that.
Yes.
Well, Scotty Mac, what do you want to talk about this week? Okay, you know what we are going to do this week? We're going to dip into the mailbag. We've done this before. It's kind of like a mid-season deal.
Yeah.
Though is this mid-season?
Apparently someone mentioned it is sort of mid. I don't know.
Such a late start to the year. I think this would be considered mid-season because we really didn't get really going hard until June. So
yes, when you start to think about it, it is.
We'll call it a mid-season anyway.
Sure,
it's a mid-season mailbag.
Yeah.
Some questions were asked. We have some opinions on a variety of topics. We'll get to that. We're gonna have we're gonna talk a little FedEx Cup. Have a little discussion there. The new formats, some of the players that where they stand. Are they close? Do we like the new format? Are they ever going to get it right? And we also had a listener ask about odd locations for golf courses. So Scotty Mac did some research and found 10.
This was weird.
You may or may not ever want to play. So
yeah, exactly.
You piqued my curiosity. So this is not my deal. Someone reached out to Scott, asked a question. He did some research. We got some answers. So we'll give you the answers. It's all going to depend on your sense of adventure as to whether you want to play any of these golf courses. But let's get to the front nine. Front nine presented by Metcalf Golf Club, a natural setting, a pleasant challenge. It's not early in the season anymore. It is in the season. Of course, according to us, it's mid-season. And Metcalf Golf Club is in amazing shape. Just played it on the weekend. Book and pay online, save 10%. Popular game passes are always available, 10, 20, and 30s. Plus, check out the event series for some fun tournaments. I just played one on the weekend. Lessons are always available, and with the head pro Nick Search. And you always enjoy the great food of Hickory's Restaurant. Visit metcalfgolf.com. Play any golf? I just look at it. Play any golf of late?
Look, I just got a text from our buddy Sean Ball. He is at Jasper. I am so jealous. He's playing Jasper today. So
yeah,
good on you, Sean.
I'm not playing Jasper today.
I'm not playing Jasper. So
thanks for the invite, Sean Ball. Appreciate it.
He's on his vacation. I'll give him credit for that one. So, play any golf of late? You just mentioned that.
Yeah, I played. I'm on a roll right now. I've played a round of 18 every week for 3 weeks. My son Brandon was away this weekend.
So you didn't play the big Friday game?
No, I did a Saturday game with my brother. Last year, Brandon and I played in the two-person tournament at Metcalf. Just on a whim, we decided to play in it. It's a 6, 6, and 6. So you do 6 scramble, 6 best ball, 6 Chapman.
Cool.
And last year, Brandon and I played in it, and we won. So I booked this in to play again, to defend the title. And then Brandon decided he was going to go on a weekend, go up to Huntsville to stay with at a cottage with a bunch of his buddies and their
Cool.
family. Little weekend getaway, which he did. And
so you
as
had to play with your
disappointed as
brother.
he was not to be part of the defense crew, my brother and I tried to hold the fort, and that didn't work out too well for us. No, it was. I missed. As much as my brother and I were decent golfers, we're very much the same when it comes to when you're doing like a team event. We both hit it about the same distance. We both hit our irons about the same distance. There's no one of us that's better at putting or
Right.
hitting it. So there wasn't really when Brandon and I played. Brandon hits it a long way.
Sure.
So that's tremendously helpful, especially when you're playing up a tee deck at Metcalf.
So you can make up for the deficiencies of your playing partner.
When you're chipping onto greens instead of hitting 100-yard shots, birdies are a little more plentiful. So we missed the long ball. We hit it good. We played well. We had one really bad hole that kind of just sent us out of the top 3 pretty quickly. But other than that, it wasn't terrible. We didn't birdie. We didn't make a single birdie. And even in the 6 holes of scramble, we didn't make a birdie. We didn't hit anything close. The wind was howling, like it was a crazy wind, which everybody had to deal with.
Sure.
But we just couldn't figure it out. Like I would hit a shot I pured it, like just pure a shot right at the flag, and it would be like 20 yards short. It would bounce. It would hit the middle of the green and spin off the front. And you know how the greens are at Metcalf; they're a little tilty, especially on the original 9. They're a little tilty, so the ball was rolling off, and then you're pitching, and it's like, oh my god, this is just like we just can't get a ball inside 30 feet for birdie, which means that really birdie putts are hitting hopes.
Yeah.
So it just wasn't to help the cause.
I was a 14-hole golfer on the weekend. In other words, I played 14 well, and then just pooped it down the backside or whatever. So. I did play a couple games though, and dealing with a little like this is like golfer's elbow now. I got it was like so. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that too much or whatever. But yeah, it was nice to get out for the the long weekend and get some golf in. And it's always funny though because I go to the golf course and people are like, hey, what are you doing here? And because they're like, it's like, oh yeah, okay, well I do.
It's like I'm not a golfer.
Fee. Yeah, that's exactly it. Oh, you're here a lot. Oh yeah, I was here twice this week. This is crazy. I'm just wild. These are golfers that play every single day. They just have a spot there or whatever. So, but it was definitely nice to get out, and certainly it's hot. I actually played with a funny guy. I played with Alex Sims, one of our players who usually plays in a bunch of events, a young college player. And we end up get a random pairing on Sunday. And I'm not going to get into it too much or whatever, but the guy hadn't played a lot in the last 25 years, but he had actually played with Mike Weir during the 1988 Ontario Juniors. How's that? There was remnants of his game that were there. But it's clear that his go-to story for the rest of his golfing life, which fine, have at it. Nice enough guy or whatever.
Played with Mike Weir.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So, and got destroyed by him, but anyways, it was still kind of fun, and it's always interesting playing with random golfers. You just never know what you're going to get. So, pretty funny stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like we just, I feel it's funny because I remember years ago when I was a member at Greyhawk, and I played the club championship one year, and after the second round, I think I was leading the club championship at Greyhawk, and this is a golf club that has at that time had quite a few really good players.
Yep.
And I remember somebody coming that I played with in the second round. Yeah, you just look at this dude with the French press coffee. I'm just thinking, as
I have a very long day ahead of me. So
as you're doing that, and I know that I'm going to be making the video after this. I'm just thinking of the multitude of graphics that I can stick on the video right around you pouring a French roast coffee.
Here, I'll go slowly for the French press so you can do something graphically.
I'll do something with it. So I remember one of the players I was playing with come up to me after the second round, and say, and just come up to me and say, "Hey, good round today. I had no idea you knew how to golf." I'm like, what the frig? I'm the publisher of a golf magazine. What makes you think I don't know how to golf? I get it. I didn't play the circuit and stuff, and you just show up at the club championship. You're leading after 2 rounds. It's like, what the hell?
Interloper.
Yeah, exactly.
That reminds me of 1 year ago where I had somebody come up and approach me. This is when I was still playing amateur golf, and it was a club championship, and again, same thing, sort of playing well or whatever, and some guy came up and asked me, are you actually a member here? Like no, they just let me play for the sake of, like, yes, I am a member. I just, I'm the perfect member. You pay your fees and you show up on occasion. So but anyways, it was nice to get out on the weekend, especially after a very busy last couple of weeks, which obviously we've chronicled on the podcast with so many events and stuff going on. So but definitely nice to get out and golf and get a feel for it. And I'll never get sick of it, but I certainly sometimes wonder how people can play every single day.
I don't know that I could anymore. Maybe I could have, when I was much younger. If I had the time to play every day, I would have liked it. I know now I couldn't play every day. I mean, I don't know that I'd get bored with it, but I don't know that I would feel, I'm enjoying looking forward to my weekly round right now.
Sure, yeah.
And if I can slide a couple of 9s in from time to time across the street at Metcalf, then then I'm happy with that. Any more than that, my body probably wouldn't like it anyway. So
sometimes it's hard to admit that time is not friendly to us.
Do what you do. All right, so the Canadian Men's Amateur finished up at Royal Ottawa.
Yeah,
and
great finish.
Really great to see the kind of finish that it was. I mean, it would have been, not to take anything away from what Declan O'Donovan from Australia did to win it in the 2-hole playoff, but the playoff was with Isaiah Ebbett locally of Ottawa. Both of them finished at -13 for the 4 rounds in regulation and go to a 2-hole playoff, and Declan O'Donovan won over Isaiah. It might have been nice to see Isaiah win it, but hey, you know what? To be in the playoff, to be a local contender, Isaiah is coming off a strong finish at the Commissioner's Ottawa Open the week before at Eagle Creek. So, obviously he was building on some confidence that he'd built up playing in a professional event and playing well there. But you were out there for the practice rounds, and then you were out there again on last Thursday for the final round. What did you see? What were your takeaways from it? Not so much the golf. We know who won. How went, but the takeaways from the event.
I think I will mention a little bit of how they finished, which made it pretty exciting because I followed the whole final round, and I walked it out there, walked a couple with some other local players, and then caught up with the leaders a few holes in and did the rest of the round with him. And the cool part was, O'Donovan had a 1-stroke lead with 3 holes to go, and then Isaiah birdied the last 3, and Declan birdied 2 of the last 3, and they were matching putts. These weren't like kick-ins; these were significant putts. And the cool part from that aspect of it was the fact that the crowds that were there were great. There was probably, I would say, there's a good 100+ people that were walking with the final group, which was great to see. I would say there was somewhere between 200 to 300 that were there waiting behind 18. Obviously there's some volunteers, club members and stuff like that, but obviously there was people that came out just to watch it specifically. So they were sitting on the hillside below the patio, watching this, and the playoff was on 18. So them coming down twice, lots of crowds, lots of action. Again, tremendous job with the volunteers at both clubs, Rivermead and Royal Ottawa. They had great committees. They put on a class show. Both golf courses definitely, there was some shine on them. I'll tell you that. There was a lot of people that, and players that were super appreciative. They had a lot of respect for the golf course and how it played. Royal Ottawa was in, impeccable conditions. greens were running close to 13. Rough was up thick. These guys were facing a tough golf course, and the competition really stepped up. So it was nice to see. I mean, this is the 10th time Royal Ottawa was the main host. Obviously, Rivermead was the co-host, and they put on a good show, something that they could be proud of, and certainly the players from around the world, and they were from around the world. Australia, South Africa, Japan, all over the place. They had great respect for the golf course. And I would say for a lot of the Canadians that were there, it opened up their eyes as far as what is in the National Capital Region as far as golf courses. Some of them just had no idea. Obviously, there's always a lot of attention on big cities, Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, and so forth. But I think they appreciated the history of the place. I talked to a lot of the parents and people that were traveling with the players. They spent lots of times going into the clubhouse and looking at trophies and photos and stuff like that, and just seeing the rich history of the place. And just overall, I think it was just a great showcase for golf in Ottawa. And to have Isaiah in the mix there at the end was really great. It was just unfortunate the very last hole. He got a little too aggressive with his approach on the second playoff hole, and ended up having to drop over by 16 for his point of entry to try to come across. And but Declan O'Donovan, it didn't matter anyways. He ended up singing a 20-foot plus putt to close it out, so to make the birdie anyways. And the cool part was, and I think I mentioned this to you, we talked about it obviously with Greg Olson. Was supposed to be attending with Dave Shriver. Greg actually stayed around for an extra day, came down, introduced himself. I hadn't met Greg before, so it was nice to see. And then the only pictures, obviously, of Greg Olson with the Earl Grey Cup, the trophy, are in black and white. And I said, why don't we get a photo? And he was more interested in not just getting himself with a photo. He wanted to meet Declan O'Donovan. So got a photo of the two of them, the champions, 45 years apart. Nice. And they got to connect. And, so it was a cool moment. And thanks to everybody, at Golf Canada and Royal Ottawa for helping facilitate that as well.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Moving on to some other things here. Sure. The new Flagstick Academy Golf Series, Golf Tip Series, presented by Casselview Golf and Country Club, is now out. We first one is up there, and we'll continue to have those follow pretty regularly. I think would probably try to post a couple a week at this point to keep them moving, get them up there while the season's still going on. So be sure to head over to flagstick.com and check those out. Or if you're so choose to do so, sign up for Flagstick Digest, the newsletter, and that kind of stuff will come to your inbox 3 days a week. Yeah.
And please subscribe. If you go to our YouTube channel, it really helps us a lot. It helps us with the algorithm, and obviously helps from a business perspective as well. And we guarantee you, there's going to be some good content up there.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's get to this mid-season mailbag. The mailbag. It's one of these. I could just see a graphic of some dancing mail thing on the screen right now. We used to do mailbag. The mailbag. Check out the mailbag. Okay, mid-season mailbag. We have a few questions here. We'll pop through a bunch of them before we got
whatever
a little bit of it. 15 minutes before break, so we should be able to pop through a good chunk of these before the end of the segment. All right, let's start off. Is it weird to feel uncomfortable when you have a caddy when you're visiting a golf resort or a private club? Okay, well, my answer to that question is no. Not. Especially if you're going to, I know from experience, having gone to Pinehurst and played number 2 at Pinehurst the first time we did it without a caddy. And then going back to Pinehurst years later and playing number 2 again with a caddy, I regret not having a caddy the first time. So maybe if you've done it, maybe if I'd have done the caddy the first time, I might not have done the caddy the second time. But it's not, if a golf course like that has a caddy system, there's nothing weird about having a caddy.
No, I don't think it's weird having a caddy. I just think it's I think this person's pointing to the uncomfortable part. I think if you're not used to having someone kind of, you're walking and you're not touching your clubs and they're handing you clubs and stuff. And it almost feels, so I can understand how they're uncomfortable. But as you said, it's like, just take advantage of it. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yes, it might be strange because it's different than you normally play golf, but that's sort of the point. It's supposed to be kind of a special occasion. And I think, having a caddy it can be fun. Yes, it can be different, but take advantage of it and use it to kind of, help your game.
And no, it's not weird to feel uncomfortable with it because it is outside your comfort zone. It's something you're not used to. So it's going to feel uncomfortable. There's nothing weird about it. Just, like I said, don't stress about it. It's fun to have it. We had caddies when we were at Cabot Links the first time. So no, I love having a caddy. All right. I'm a mid-handicapper who wants to break 80. No, you don't. What is the single most important swing thought or drill I should be working on? The single most important swing thought or drill you should be working on is whatever you need to do to make bogey on the last hole to ensure that you never break 80. It's a freaking curse. Like, honest to God, everybody wants to break that's close, wants to break 80. I want to shoot in the 70s. I want to shoot in the 70s. Do you have any idea how stressful the rest of your golf life is going to be when you break 80? Like, seriously, as soon as you do it, I guarantee this, and I'm not answering your question. As soon as you do this, you're going to think that you are capable of breaking 80 every single time you play golf. And every time you don't, it's going to add a level of stress to your game that you just simply cannot handle. So shoot in the mid 80s to low 80s for the rest of your golfing life, and your golfing life will be the better for it. Okay. So now, Scott, you can go ahead and actually answer the question properly. I've answered it I've answered it my way. You go ahead and answer it your way.
I don't know if I can, because the thing is like, you don't know what the person is doing that is causing them not to break 80. So I would say over anything else, short game. Just, learn to putt, learn to read putts, learn to hit putts on the line where you need to start them. I think that's probably more important than, some of the things, unless you're, if you're making golf swings, and obviously if you're a mid handicapper already, it's not like you're losing 40 balls around or whatever. So you're
probably losing it around the greens.
Yeah, no doubt. So if you look back at your round and you realize that all of a sudden it's like, I've got 4 3 putts that are keeping me, shooting 85, then chances are, yes, you have to be close to have a good chance to make those putts, but more than anything, you're probably making some 3 putts, and those are probably adding to your score. So, without looking at your golf swing or knowing, it's hard to give you a drill or anything like that, but I would say just focus on your short game and your putting. And everybody thinks they're a better putter than they are. I always say that.
Yeah. And I've played enough golf with enough people that I can tell you that I've seen so many people hit 2 really good shots, miss a green left, right, or long, and then chunk a chip shot, run a chip shot way past.
Next thing it's a double,
and next thing you know, you've gone from potentially putting for birdie or making birdie to struggling for par, which generally leads to a bogey or a double. And then you want to know where your strokes are won and lost. That's probably a pretty good place to start. Okay. I've been playing golf with the same irons for 10 years. Good for you. Will a new set of clubs really help my game, or is it just a marketing gimmick? Okay, I'll leave the technical side of this to Scott, but I can answer this question for you. Is it a marketing gimmick? No,
There's
it's
involved, not. But it's not a gimmick.
In this case, being that the clubs that are 10 years old, and you're thinking of getting a new set 10 years later, it's far from a marketing gimmick. The equipment that is out there now 10 years later is better than it was 10 years ago. So whatever's being said about the equipment, it's not a marketing gimmick. It's never a marketing gimmick. If your clubs are a year old and you're looking at a new set of clubs, I'm not so sure that there's that much of a difference between what you're playing to what you're playing a year later, and that it might not make that much of a difference. But I think Scott can probably answer more of a less about the equipment and more about something else, technical side to this question?
Yeah, I would say for most people, I mean, we're seeing life cycles for products get longer and longer. And, I guess there's, in two different words there, marketing and gimmick. There's always going to be marketing. Companies have to do marketing. Gimmick sort of it sort of invokes a thought of being a trick. That's not really a trick. I would say the biggest thing more than anything is just go and get fitted properly. Like go and find out if the lofts are proper, the lies are proper for you. If the short irons are all of a sudden, very, very worn, which we might see in players that tend to practice a lot or whatever, then, there might be some advantages to go up. If the chrome is starting to come off them, things like that, that would be sort of the issue that the time consideration is. But if they're fit properly, you can have them in your bag for quite a long time. But you will see that, maybe when you go through that fitting process, there's certain clubs or designs of clubs now will really help you out in specific areas of game. So maybe it's I'll just use an example. Maybe it's your long irons and you need to launch them a little bit higher. Well, maybe there's an iron design that's out there now with the use of tungsten, thinner face, variable face technology or things like that all of a sudden you can kind of get that extra help out of those particular clubs. So again, the fitting will cut through everything and get you where you need to go.
I think that's the thing is you're asking a question of will the new set of clubs really help my game? Well, if the new set of clubs, if you walk into a golf shop or a golf store and you just grab a set off the rack and take them home, then who knows? That's like throwing. That's like, who knows? Does it
buy a car off the lot? Buy a car off the lot. Will it make me a better driver? I don't know.
If the clubs are fit for you. If you've gone through a fitting process, the chances are the clubs are going to improve your game a little bit, maybe, but there's still no guarantee. You could have a perfectly fit set of golf clubs, brand new, current technology, and still not play any better.
Right. You still have to perform. So what I would say is take whatever you notice as deficiency in your game, obviously see what the fitter thinks is a deficiency in your game, and have the clubs address those deficiencies.
Okay, when playing a new course, what's the best way to develop a strategy for the round? What should I be looking for on the scorecard and the first tee? Well, I mean, I've always gone with the plan that I ask the starter, what's the course record and where is the first tee?
Sure, I mean, that always works,
way right? I know where I'm going and what I'm not going to shoot.
Right, you know what hole to quit on.
So,
first tee might be a little late.
I don't think when I go to a new golf course, I don't have a strategy. I mean, maybe there's we can describe a strategy that you can have, but playing a new golf course, what's your expectations is going to be the standard for what kind of strategy you have. My expectations when I go to a new golf course, because I've done this every week for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I have no expectations. I'm just out there to enjoy myself and play the golf course. I'm not trying to score. I'm not trying to, I'm trying to keep it out of the woods or out of the water and things like that. I play what's in front of me is my strategy. I see what I see and I try to hit to a spot where I can see my ball another time. So I don't take risks going over corners and things like that. But I don't know.
What?
Not anymore. Just
straight out. All right, just got a new philosophy.
I keep the ball in front of me. I don't want to look for it. I hate the idea of playing a new golf course and hitting blind shots, not knowing where I'm going, and then getting up there thinking I hit it great and not being able to find my ball. So
here's what I would say: scorecard and first tee are too late. As far as figuring it out, we have technology these days. We have things like GPS. Look on an app like Shot Pattern or the Golf Canada GPS app or the Grint or so forth. You can look at the golf course visually and you can actually chart out kind of where your average shots might land, and you can see where those blind shots might take you. That would be the way to develop a strategy. You can use just straight Google Earth as well, and then figure it out as far as where you can save some strokes. Scorecard's not going to really tell you too much, and the first tee, unless you're standing on the first tee with the club champion and you're asking for advice there, it's too late to be thinking about that aspect.
Okay.
You need to hit the ball.
Okay. Right. So we got 3 minutes left here. Let's try one or two more questions. So I'm going to go with this one. My playing partner constantly gives me unsolicited advice. How do I politely tell them to stop without being...
Politely is the key
word. Are we on Sirius XM here? Because I like to... I'll tell you what you do.
Yeah, exactly.
without dropping bad words here. Tell them exactly where to go. I mean, I think it's just pretty simple. Just say, hey, you know what?
I appreciate it.
I appreciate the advice, but let me just figure this out, kind of thing. And if they don't take that hint, then give them a better one.
Yeah, I guess that's the way to put it more than anything. So yeah, I mean, the polite is the aspect of it. Unsolicited advice is not great. Even as a golf pro, I mean, I sit back and I do not give advice. And heck, I don't even tell people I'm a PGA member unless they start asking or something like that. Well, I mean, really, I mean, what's the thing? You're not supposed to give unsolicited advice.
Exactly. So shut it.
Yeah, exactly.
Shut it.
So yeah, so I would say thank you, but tell them you got a coach, or as you said, I'll figure it out on my own.
Exactly. So. All right. Last question here, and then we're going to boot it.
Sure.
What is the single most underrated piece of equipment in a golf bag that an amateur golfer should be paying more attention to? I think we kind of already alluded to this a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
It's oh boy.
Single most. That's a loaded question.
And I mean, I guess the question is paying more attention to in what way? Paying more attention to what it is, like how should I have a better one, or paying attention to how should I be practicing it more? I would personally say putting. So I would probably say the single most important piece, but that's not underrated.
No, I know.
You know what I mean? Like that's kind of a loaded question because a putter, that's not underrated. The putter is probably one of the most important pieces of equipment in your bag. So how could it be underrated? I would say wedges.
You know what?
I would say wedges.
I'm going to go different for equipment. I think wedges are right too. I think from a gapping standpoint, you definitely have to have the right gaps and stuff in there. I don't know if that's underrated though. You know what? I'm going to actually literally say, rangefinder. I think people just don't know or appreciate what their distances are. They definitely, they overestimate that, and they have to get familiar with how far they actually hit the golf ball.
Pace off to a yardage marker. You don't need a rangefinder. That's my opinion about that.
I'm not pacing off something that's 200 yards away. I'm talking about overall as far as their game is concerned. So, welcome to 2025, Jeffrey.
Yeah, I'm already in 2025. I still don't think it's necessary, but I think it ends up slowing things up, and people put too much stock in it. Anyway,
we'll have a whole episode on that one.
We could, yeah, we could. Okay, we got to get out of here before we get cut off. So we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to get into FedEx Cup, and we're going to get into strange golf courses in the world. You're listening to watching the Flagstick podcast with Jeff Botter and Scott McLeod. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
How do you forge pure? With more pressure, more precision, more focus, more control. ZXI irons, pure forged, pure Srixon.
All right, well, we're back. We're back on the Flagstick podcast with Jeff Botter and Scott McLeod. And we are prepared to talk FedEx Cup, and we are prepared to talk about weird or odd golf courses in the world. We'll see how that goes.
Exactly. I'm not sure how prepared we are.
It's like the crapshoot show. We're just trying stuff and seeing what works.
There's always something to talk about, right?
Exactly. So. All right. Let's get to the back nine presented by Falcon Ridge Golf Club. 27 holes of fun and challenging golf at great rates. Falcon Ridge Golf Club is a golfing experience you should not miss. Don't forget, Falcon Ridge has built the first TrackMan range facility in Eastern Ontario. This TrackMan range is all about exciting, easy-to-use features that provide the ultimate range experience for every golfer at every level. That's practice games and virtual golf. To book tee times or to book one of the 10 TrackMan range bays, visit falconridgegolf.ca. Okay. There is always something to talk about. It's golf. We could talk about golf tees. You want to talk about golf?
I know.
I got a golf tee. I got a golf tee in my pocket. Look at
why?
It's just I don't know. Well, I'm golfing when I reach in my pocket and I pull out a
tee right here. I always have tees.
That's the professional tee system. The plastic ones. Use plastic tees.
I don't know. I just use whatever.
Well, is it plastic or is it wood?
It is plastic, but I don't know where it came from. I mean, I'm like every golfer in the world. Like you have tees. You have tees infesting your house. That's what happens. That is the side, benefit of being a golfer. It doesn't matter where you go. Hey, I'm going to go for a round of golf. You happen to look over on the dresser. There's 3 more tees sitting there. So
I found a tee in my pen holder on my desk.
See, I don't know how many tees are got here, but I bet
we determined that tees are an infestation.
Yeah,
you heard it first here on the Flagstick podcast. Yeah. Tees are an infestation.
I think everybody pretty much knows that one for sure. If they're a golfer, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so we are kicking off this weekend coming up here. The FedEx Cup starts. The FedEx Cup playoffs, I should say, start at the
PGA Tour
St. Jude Classic.
Yep.
Now, this year, if anybody has been living under a rock, you may have noticed, or you may not have noticed, that there's a series of commercials going on promoting the PGA Tour FedEx Cup involving many PGA Tour players, talking about the new format and the fact that Scotty Scheffler now no longer has strokes to play with to start the final round of the playoffs, essentially. So,
no longer net.
Great. So this kind of, as this new format is introduced this year, kind of has started a little bit of a conversation amongst golfers, and as does anything that changes things. The new format, is it better than the old format, which was a format that we felt was better than the old format, which we thought was better than the format before that format? So here's the thing.
Every year we have a format discussion.
This discussion is going to go on. So the question starts to arise, and the question that gets asked a lot is, have they got it right now?
Yeah.
And the simple answer to the question is no. And then the second question is, will they ever get it right? And the second answer to the question is no.
No.
Has any sporting league actually ever gotten the playoff format completely right?
I think right's an opinion. That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
That's the thing. And everybody has one. Right. Scott has an opinion, which I'm pretty sure probably doesn't line up with my opinion. It clearly doesn't line up with my opinion about rangefinders. So, and I think that's the whole point of this.
Scott may not care enough about this because he's living under a rock.
Exactly. I mean, Scott's opinion about rangefinders and my opinion about rangefinders, his isn't right and mine isn't right. That's why they're called opinions.
Correct.
Okay. I have an opinion. He has an opinion. He has an argument. I have an argument. The arguments don't make one argument right over the other one. They're still opinions. So when we talk about the FedEx Cup and the format, and I have an opinion, Scott might have an opinion, Joe Blow might have an opinion, the PGA Tour has an opinion. Is anybody's opinion actually right? No. Yeah. It's whatever works.
Generally, you form an opinion about something you care about.
Yes.
And that's the difficult part. That's the difficult part for me here. As much as I love golf, arguing about how we're going to divide up $100 million among a bunch of millionaires is a tough go. That's for sure.
Now, here's the thing. So let's talk about. We're not particularly talking about who's in, who's out. I think we kind of already know.
That's not really it. Yeah.
There's some guys in the bubble that maybe would have liked to have seen them in. But here's the thing. The format now is. The format was they play all season long, they get points.
Right.
At the end of the regular season of golf, preceding the playoffs, you have your top point getters. That's okay, here we go. And at last year it was the top how many got in? 7.
Well, it's still the same.
70. So last year the top
50,
70 70 get in to the first playoff event. And then they play, and then the next group of 50 move on.
And there's elevated points for the playoff events, which is the same. It's a little bit more. It's quadruple points now for each event.
Ultimately, you get to the top 30, which has always been the Tour Championship. The top 30 has always been the Tour, even before FedEx Cup. The top 30 played in the Coca-Cola Tour Championship. So you've got your top 30 playing off in the last event. Now, the last bunch of years, the one with the most points when the Tour Championship began started at 10 under par.
Yeah, they got a 9-stroke advantage over the bottom players.
Right. So technically speaking, the bottom player in that top 30 probably didn't have much of a chance of winning the FedEx Cup unless they just went lights out nuts.
Right.
Or the top guys dropped off the face of the earth, which is highly unlikely that all of the top guys would completely.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So right off the bat,
but it made it confusing for consumers because all of a sudden it was like,
I didn't like that format. It didn't make any sense.
A lot of people didn't like it.
It was, and I would think even most of the players probably didn't like it, especially the ones that were further down the list. So,
and we like the fact that, if you won the Tour Championship, you won the FedEx Cup, which is kind of how it was before, and then but it wasn't for a little while. So that became a bit of an issue.
So I think for me, so then of course you get your top 30. Now, the winner of the FedEx Cup. So you start with your 70, and then they play for their points, quadruple points in the St. Jude. They play for their quadruple points in the BMW. So you're 70 down to 50. After the BMW to go to 30, then the points are gone. Now you're just playing 30 players straight up. Whoever wins the Tour Championship and the FedEx Cup.
Yeah, which is less confusing for not only the avid watcher, but the average watchers.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's important because if all of a sudden, if you get a general consumer, somebody that doesn't watch a lot of golf, and all of a sudden they turn it on and it feels like, they're playing Bamboozled on Friends. That is not what you want. You don't want what's the rule here and what's this and what's this. Now the payout stuff is a little bit different, but the fact that it's just straight out golf when you get to the Tour Championship obviously makes it a little bit cleaner. Is it perfect?
So, okay. Is it perfect? No, well, that's a matter of opinion, right? So,
correct. Exactly.
Ultimately, that comes down to whether the sponsors and the players like it, and whether the fans can follow it, then they'll get it. Now,
correct.
I still don't like the way that it's done.
So what aspect do you not like?
So this is where I'm going to be a little unpopular in my thought here, and people are going to have an opinion, but
maybe not. Maybe you have other people that love that same thing.
Person. Sure. So as a hockey fan, as a football fan, as a basketball fan, as a baseball fan, and so on, the way that sports generally works. Now this isn't a team thing, but it's still, if you're going to have a playoffs.
Yeah.
Then playoffs are playoffs. You have a regular season, and we play all regular season to get to the playoffs.
Correct.
With every other sporting series, when you get to the regular season is done, you have a champion of the regular season.
Right.
Boom. They get in hockey, they get the President's Trophy, and that President's Trophy gives them an advantage of home ice advantage throughout the playoffs until they're eliminated. But once the regular season is over, boom. Everything's gone. It's
only the top teams get through, but everything, you're right. They started now at a zero floor.
So let's just equate one to the other. Because I'm a hockey fan, let's equate golf and hockey. So the FedEx Cup season-long series FedEx Cup race, regular season. As of the Wyndham Championship, there is no FedEx Cup race anymore. The points are established to see who gets into the playoffs. Right. So your 70 players now get into the playoffs. So my idea is you have your 70 players in the playoffs. Boom, you play the St. Jude. The top 70 in the FedEx, the St. Jude, move on to the BMW. Not the points. The points are now gone because the first place person can the President's Cup trophy, the President's Trophy winner in the NHL can get eliminated in the first round. So there's no advantage to being the number one team all regular season. The playoffs start, everybody's on the same playing field. So you play the St. Jude, you have the 70 in the St. Jude. After the top 50 in the St. Jude move on to the BMW, no matter what your points were going in. Then after the BMW, the top 30 move on from the BMW into the Tour Championship, and the winner of the Tour Championship wins the Stanley Cup, the FedEx Cup. That's how I think.
No, and And I'm not opposing that. I don't think I think the quadruple points, the catch up. I don't like that
you're
as
just
well.
You're just giving a handicap to the people below.
And here's the other side of it. And this may differ from what you think. The 70-50-30 cut. Mm-hmm. I'm not 100% a fan of that either.
I think it should be 100 that get into St. Jude.
I think, or it's a case of, do we need the cuts?
I think it depending on on the format that you want. Do you want 100 players in the Coca-Cola?
No, and I'm not saying.
I still think of it as the Coca-Cola. I'll never. It's always the Coca-Cola Tour Championship. I'm sorry, and I don't like anything but the feathery ball. Why are we using these cavity back things? We should be using gutta-percha balls and brassies.
That's a clip, right?
Hickory shafts.
Yeah, and I totally actually agree with that. I don't like when I saw that earlier this year when they announced it, the quadruple points. I didn't really love that. I again, it's like, okay, why are we putting that in there? And I could live with the cuts. I could live with the 70-50-30. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Although I would still like to say, you're in the playoffs. I guess that's sort of like rounds in the NHL. Mm-hmm. Well, we'll call it that way as far as why they do the 70-50-30, because you're reducing down as far as,
but to your point,
some reward that's there. So I can get it, but I can live with it either way.
To your point, though, I understand. The first reward for PGA Tour players is the 100, right? So the 100 gets your card.
Yeah, next year. This year will be
so that's the first reward. The second reward is the 70, which qualifies you for the playoffs. Mm-hmm. The third reward is the 50, which qualifies you for the next round of the playoffs. And then the fourth reward is the 30 that qualifies for next. So I would say, my own opinion, why can't the 100 that get their cards qualify for the playoffs?
Yeah,
it's only the first event, and and then after that you cut it down to 75.
I think that has to do more with how they're doing the events after this, where they settle out the cards and stuff for the next year. Mm-hmm. Because the thing is, they're doing the 50. The 50 will automatically get in all the signature events and everything for next year. I'll double check as far as that number, but I think the specific amount. Then there's cards that are sorted out in the fall series as far as the events that are in there. But as you said, they're getting rewards. They are distributing the money slightly differently this year. So they've got, top 10 after Wyndham, there's a payout for there. The top 30 after the BMW, there's a payout there. And then there's a top 30 for the Tour Championship. But I agree. I think the quadruple points, once they're getting the playoffs, I don't think we need that, because I think what happens is that if you get a player that doesn't play great throughout the entire year, as you said, they're getting a reward if they do play well at the St. Jude, that they get into the 50 and then they advance. But I think, jumping them up and giving them 4 times the amount of points for the play in that particular
that makes
event,
no sense.
I think they're already getting a big fat purse as it is. So they're personally getting that aspect of it. They're getting the advancement aspect of it because obviously they played well to get through. I don't know if you need the quadruple points. Again, that feels like it's a, bamboozle. Hey, you get 47 extra points for doing this or whatever. So,
well, here's the thing too.
I do like the even playing field.
So I like the idea of the point. So at the end of the regular season, you have the top 10 after the Wyndham get money.
Yeah.
And that's the reward. The person that wins the regular season gets a FedEx Cup bonus money.
Scotty.
for winning the regular season. There's got to be a reward for winning the regular season, a bonus.
Yes. And that's better to do that than give them 9 extra strokes
now,
in the playoffs.
As soon as you've handed that money out, now the top 70 players go to St. Jude. They play. And then the top 50, now maybe you have to do it top 50 in ties because you're doing it based on scores, that those players move on to the BMW. And then from the BMW, the top 30 and potentially end ties move on to the Tour Championship. Now, for me, what that does is it's like the playoffs. It keeps me as a viewer engaged. And from a player's perspective, it eliminates people doing what Rory's doing right now. Rory should be playing in the St. Jude. I'm sorry. I don't care what's going on in your life unless it's a real personal issue. Like you can't, there's a personal issue, then you withdraw.
It shouldn't be a rest.
You should be there because that's the playoffs.
Yeah.
The second place team in the Stanley Cup Finals doesn't get to take the first round off because they want to go on vacation or something, or they're not feeling well. Yeah. You play. Yeah. So you don't get to take it just because you have enough points to move on to the next round. That's why you get rid of the points, and that's why you make it the playoffs is about how well you play. And if you don't play well in the first round, well, I'm sorry. If a team doesn't play well in the first round of the playoffs, they get eliminated. Nobody's going well. They weren't feeling well. Well, too bad. That happens all the time.
Now, I wonder if the tour kind of implemented the quadruple points to kind of maybe mitigate that a little bit. But the other way, to mitigate it is just to, and again, I recognize they're independent contractors, but yes, play. You have to play.
You got to play.
And I think
playoffs. This is the whole. This is what FedEx is putting hundreds of millions of dollars into this thing. Yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Have a little bit of respect for the sponsor, and then you wonder why Liv is doing all this. Come on, you got.
But here's the thing: take your rest. I mean, he didn't play Wyndham, and I understand he's going to play around the world and stuff like that or whatever. But take your rest beforehand. You've already got your spot in the top 70, so take your rest beforehand someplace. And is that a fault of the tour? Maybe. I mean, here's the thing. If you stack up the schedule during the regular season so much that players can't find time to get rest before the playoffs, is that an issue? So does the tour, and I understand the tour doesn't want to conflict with football. So they don't want to push later as far as the schedule is concerned. But I think maybe the tour has to look at that as far as the scheduling wise of, does there need to be a gap in there so that they can end up making sure that, the players are happy with sort of rest time, but are also, making sure that they play in those playoffs, because that's what the fans expect, and suitably so. I mean, if you look at the St. Jude this week, I mean, sure, they did great last week as far as the Wyndham, as far as TV ratings and so forth, but not having Rory at the St. Jude definitely takes away from it.
A little bit, yeah, for sure.
It's certainly going to take some eyeballs
to play for in the St. Jude. See, this is the thing, and I don't want to dwell on it too much, but this is the thing. If the guys at the top, there's really nothing to play for. They don't, Scotty Scheffler could take the St. Jude and a BMW off and still finish in the top and still finish in the top 30.
Sure, that's fine. But if it's mandatory, then they'll play in it.
Exactly, because this then goes back to when Tiger and VJ and guys were winning the FedEx Cup before the season even ended. Yeah. And they were just taking tournaments off. So it's like, well, I've already won it with six events to go. That's what they're trying to eliminate. Well, you're doing the same thing. Because these guys can take weeks off and still make it into the top 30 because their points are so far ahead. The ones at the bottom can't do that. And the thing is, nobody else can step in, right?
Right, and I think that's why they were trying to do the quadruple points so that guys can sort of catch up. But I think that's sort of a weak way to do it.
Hokey.
It's a weak way to do it because, as you said, if you're second and you're definitely going to be in the playoffs, you have to play the playoffs. So play the game. So
make it all about how you play week to week in the playoffs, and man, that's going to be an exciting playoff.
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, but that's my opinion. And you have your opinion, and Joe Blow has his opinion, and
it doesn't vary by that much. And again, I recognize there's nuances or whatever that that are obviously maybe we're missing or whatever the point. But in the end, I'd like to see all the players playing, and I like the fact that there's an even playing field when we get to Atlanta. Having the net stuff, I get it. Partway through, after round one or round two, you probably sort of forgot where they were on the leaderboard. But the point is that everybody reminds you of it. And that's all they talk about is it becomes like, well, if they had started here, they would really be winning the tournament.
Eliminate that altogether.
Yeah, for sure. So, anyhow.
All right. Well, let's leave that discussion there. Anybody else has an opinion, feel free to email us or send us a DM or whatever the case may be. And if you have an opinion that's different than ours or you agree with ours, and maybe we'll talk about it next week. Sure. Okay. So now the world is full of beautiful traditional golf courses. But apparently there are some that defy convention. So Scotty Mac took the request and went and found 10 of the strangest and most uniquely located golf courses in the world.
And I can't even pronounce some of the names.
Well, you're go for it, because I don't.
Yeah.
Like, I read the list here, so I can read some off, but I don't know anything about any of these golf courses.
Some of these are weird, and I don't think that. I mean,
these are in no particular order. So we got 1 to 10 here, but these are in no particular order. So let me just see here. So the first one on your list is Null Arbor Links in Australia.
Yeah.
So let's see. It's the world's longest golf course,
apparently,
and it stretches over 850 miles across the Null Arbor Plain,
which I assume is like some big desert something.
Yeah, the 18 holes are located.
Apologies to everyone in Australia.
Yeah, the 18 holes are located in different towns and roadhouses across the Eyre Highway, requiring a multi-day road trip to complete the route.
Dude, I have the list. I haven't researched it enough to really know enough about it. It sounds interesting, but it's like, is that really a golf course? I guess. I don't know. It's sort of
I don't even know where to go with this one. Like,
I don't know either. It's like, all right, you know where to go with it? To the next one, because it's like, all right,
okay, well, you can. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the next one because I'm going to tick off.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go. I can't spell it, but we'll go with Umanak Golf Course in Greenland. So it hosts the World Ice Golf Championship, located on a small island 350 miles north of the Arctic Circle. The course is played on ice and snow. Players use a red ball to make it visible against the white landscape and must watch out for polar bears and ice crevasses. So that's a little bit different than your normal hazards. I mean,
freaking dangerous.
It's a variation of golf for sure. And I mean, I think we've all done variations of golf over the years, where there's cross country, playing it in backyards, fields, whatever the case. And I mean, golf is golf, I guess. It's just, again, it's not your traditional thing. But, you know, even calling it a golf course, much like the, you know, Null Arbor Links is, you know, quite interesting when you call it. Like, how do you even manage green fee traffic at Null Arbor Links? I have no idea, but anyways, we'll go on. Actually, I know this third one because I've seen this one before.
This is crazy.
Extreme 19th at Legend Golf and Safari Resort in South Africa. I did a story on it years ago. They basically have a tee box. It's a par 3. It's up on a mountain. It's 400 meters above the green. You can only get there by helicopter. The ball is up in the air for up to 26 seconds, and apparently there's a $1 million prize for a hole-in-one. So you know, you play the normal golf course, and then this is the extreme 19th hole. I think we have a variation of this in Canada as well, up on Currie Mountain out in BC. They do have a tee box that's up there. I'm not sure if there's a green down below. I'll have to ask Grant Fraser that one, because I know he's played that out at Big Sky in Pemberton, BC. But different for sure.
This is crazy. Okay, Furnace Creek Golf Course this in itself would be enough to say don't go. Furnace Creek Golf Course is in Death Valley in the United States. It's situated 214 feet below sea level.
Yeah,
it's the lowest golf course in the world. It's also one of the hottest. It has an average summer temperature of 115 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 46 degrees Celsius for any of you Canadians.
Yeah.
Around here is a true test of endurance and hydration. 115 degrees. 46 degrees Celsius. Like, I can barely go outside when it's 40 with the humidity.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun.
No. Who plays that? And how do you grow grass?
You don't. That you play on dirt. Actually, that reminds me of the you know, the guys that finished last place at the Canadian Men's Amateur, who I mentioned in a tweet. They were from Yellowknife, and they play on a golf course that's all sand, and they have a mat, and they play on artificial turf. So you can imagine going to play Royal Ottawa after you're playing on that. So same thing here. You can't grow grass. So you're playing over a desert. And I remember reading about this when I was a kid, because I remember it was in the Guinness Book of World Records as the, you know, the lowest golf course in the world. So, but yeah, different. I don't know. Here's the thing. Do you, and if you're listening to this, do you want to play these golf courses?
No.
Or are you just kind of avoiding them? That's
okay. So far, I would be curious about Null Arbor Links.
Okay.
I would be curious about Umanak.
Yeah.
You know, ice championships. It seems kind of like cool. I'm not big on the polar bears.
Too cold for me. Yeah, polar bears.
Furnace Creek, I have no interest in. Hitting the tee shot on the Extreme 19th.
That'd be fun.
That'd be kind of cool. This next one, not a freaking chance in hell. No. Camp Boniface in South Korea. It's dubbed as the most dangerous golf course in the world. This is a single 192-yard par 3 hole within the Korean demilitarized zone.
So that's right between South Korea and North Korea.
So the course is surrounded by minefields, so a ball hit in the rough is considered lost for good if it doesn't blow up. I mean, I don't even understand. Like, what? Why would you want to? Like, it doesn't.
I don't know. This reminds me.
Why would you even build a hole there?
Well, I think it just reminds me of talking to some soldiers and stuff that I knew that stationed overseas, guys that were in Afghanistan and stuff like that built golf holes as far as entertainment, but surrounded by minefields, sort of like, all right. I mean, we think it's bad when we're down in Mississippi and we're trying to avoid spiders and snakes, but nobody needs to blow up looking for a golf ball. That's for sure.
No, definitely not. Now, number 6 on the list here. This is one that I've always wanted the opportunity to play.
Sure. Yeah.
At Coeur d'Alene Resort and Golf Course in Idaho. This is the one that has the floating green that can change lengths.
Correct.
Because it's built on a barge, so they can change the length to make the hole shorter or longer. Now, is this the one? This is a Teeth of the Dog?
No. Teeth of the Dog is in Casa de Campo.
Okay,
this is the one in Idaho. So,
right.
Not in Dominican Republic. So,
Now, what's cool is after you hit your tee shot, if you landed on the green or when you landed on the green, I wonder if the drop zone is on a floating barge in the middle of the...
Good idea. Actually, I never even thought of that.
Anyway, you take your putter, you jump on a small boat, and you and your caddy head over to the island to finish the hole. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fun. I mean, it's quirky and whatever, but I mean, I guess, if it's a resort, they're trying for that aspect of it, right?
Of course. So, and there's no landmines.
No landmines. And maybe sharks in the water or something like that, but not in Idaho. So yeah.
Unreal. What else do we got here?
Now this one's interesting because Kantarat golf course is in Thailand. So it's an 18-hole course located between 2 runways of the international airport in Bangkok. Now there's, I think the one that's not on here, which is sort of similar aspect of it, is the one at the Speedway in Indiana. So same kind of feel here. This is between 2 runways, but I mean, think about that. Like golf balls and planes, I don't think they really kind of match up, do they? I mean, I think
not really. Well, I
don't know how far away
golf course at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, right?
Yeah, of course. You've got the holes inside Brickyard Crossing or whatever. So
I'm pretty sure they're not golfing while the Indianapolis 500 is going on.
No. They're definitely not or whatever. So that's why you wonder. It's like, okay, how close are these to this runway in Bangkok? Anybody that's flown into Bangkok, let us know if you've played this golf course or you've seen it and how close the golf course, especially if it's 18 holes, how close they are located to the runways. Constant jets. I mean, lots of golf courses are located near airports where you hear jets and stuff, going off all the time. Or even Royal Woodbine in in Toronto, you get the planes coming over there pretty close because you're in that valley. And stuff like that. Not quite the same. It's located at the end of a runway. But and the same when we played, let me think, TPC Scottsdale, the champion course, we had some small planes that are going over top of the you have small planes going over top of the Ottawa Hunt Club or whatever. But interesting as far as we'll see how close those are. I'll dig into that one a little bit.
What's this one here? Merapi Golf Course in Indonesia. This is a truly volcanic round of golf. It's located on the slopes of Mount Merapi, one of the most active volcanoes in the world. Players can often see smoke from the crater, and eruptions have been known to disrupt play and cover the course in ash. What the frick?
Doesn't seem like an ideal place to build a golf course.
If the freaking thing can erupt at any time, why in the world would I want to be anywhere near it?
Yeah, it's like okay, let's build our business next to the world's largest bonfire.
It's not like there's a schedule that they give you ahead of time when it's going to erupt. Say, you might want to avoid coming and playing this particular week of the year
just in case
it erupts. It could literally erupt while you're playing on the 10th hole. Yeah. Okay. What do we got now? Oh God,
2 more here. You'll love these ones.
Prison View Golf Course in Louisiana. It literally named Prison View. This is a 9-hole golf course located on the grounds of the Louisiana State Penitentiary, once known as the bloodiest prison in America. Oh, just for laughs,
sure, why
it's
not?
maintained by the prisoners.
Yeah, but they're not allowed to play it. It was
once known as the bloodiest prison in America. I'm assuming that it's not now. So it's maintained by the prisoners, which is great, as long as they're not some of the bloodiest prisoners in America. But they're not allowed to play on it. Aw.
Different. That's for sure.
What the heck?
I don't know. I mean, I have heard.
Jeez, I just glanced ahead.
Okay, to the last one.
What the heck?
I have heard of the. I've heard of golf being played within the confines of certain prison facilities, but more or less just people just teeing off, not really a golf course on the ground. So I mean, these grounds might be expansive, it may be way away from actually the prison walls and stuff like that, but who knows. And I will tell you, there was in the 1990s, I remember discussing a possible golf course with the manager who's now deceased of Corrections Canada facility, who was discussing their large piece of property, and they had lots of they had a farm operation that was there, and we actually talked about.
You're talking about Collins Bay?
No, another one, but I'm not going to name the specific one.
They were talking about Collins Bay, Penn, and Kingston at one point.
No,
they were talking about a golf course there.
But there was another one that they were talking about the suitability of it to have a golf course. It might be Joyceville. Anyways, never happened. So
never happened. Okay, our last one on the list, and what a fitting end or rear end to the show. La Jenny in France.
This is why I don't want to play or even observe.
Golf course where clothing is optional.
Yes.
La Jenny is the world's only naturist golf course, allowing you to play golf as nature intended, if that's your kind of thing.
No thanks, pass.
No, I don't want to play this and then have to be the butt of the joke with people. And what do you do? Like I guess you have to. I guess in this case you're probably only allowed to carry 13 clubs.
Maybe. All I know is they better sell sunscreen in the pro shop.
Damn. I think that's just dumb.
I guess if that's a person's lifestyle and they want to play golf, help yourself. But not my.
I don't think I could deal with
not my
that.
desire.
Okay. Well, there you have it. There are 10 of the strangest and most uniquely located golf courses in the world. I'm sure that list could be made a lot longer, but
probably
that's
I don't
10
think we
pretty
need to
unique
talk about
ones right there. I don't think that there's any need to add to that list.
No, I think we've checked that off as something we've included in a podcast here on episode 137.
Lord.
We might not have to. We might not want to revisit it ever.
I don't want to talk about that last one ever again.
I think it was actually part of trivia that we had at one point. I think we mentioned it actually in another podcast, and I'm not going to go back and look, but
I'm not either.
So
because then that just means we have to talk about it again.
Correct. Exactly.
I don't want to talk about it again. All right. Well, there you have it. The uniqueness of the Flagstick podcast has once again reared its ugly head.
Oh.
All right.
Any more butt jokes?
No,
I think we'll
just look. I think we'll just bounce from there over to the finishing of this show.
Let's do that.
Let's get to the point. Thank you to our sponsors, if they're still going to be our sponsors after that. Metcalf Golf Club, Falcon Ridge Golf Club, and our presenting sponsor this week, sponsored by now I'm so distracted. Our presenting sponsor this week, Strixon Golf. At Strixon, performance is more than just a number; it's a feeling, one that starts at the forge. Introducing ZXI irons with High Forge, a groundbreaking achievement in shaping, pressing, and heating that's taken Strixon feel to an entirely new level. ZXI irons from Strixon, how forge should feel. Visit strixon.ca for more information and the full lineup of Strixon products. Well, I hope that you have enjoyed hearing and watching this podcast. I hope you continue to watch and listen. Be sure to follow us across all of our social media networks, Instagram, X, Facebook, TikTok. Subscribe on Spotify, Audible, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Like us, click the notification bell to make sure you never miss anything that we put up on our YouTube channel. Get over to flagstick.com for more amazing golf content delivered every single day. And be sure to subscribe to the Flagstick Digest newsletter. It's free, it's delivered to your inbox 3 times a week, and it's got a lot of great stuff in it. That's it for us. As always, we do appreciate you tuning in. Until next week, I'm Jeff Botter.
I'm Scott McLeod.
Remember, always go for the stick.